Hello everybody, and welcome back to some more G-Senjou no Maou with me, Phantom Zwei. So, hey, we're going on a date with Shiratori to watch stars a night at the school, but we're actually hanging out with Eiichi and Usami too, so damn! But anyway, let's get to it, shall we? Ominous auras tend to hang about schools at night. It's Sunday night, what do you expect? Club activities are long over.
つまりこの広い校舎には我々だけということですか
What's she all excited about? No, it looks like Miss Noriko is here too.
そういえば職員室に明かりが灯ってましたね
Want to go say hello?
いいややめておこうぜ
Looks like the harsh words of his wounds of his unrequited love left with him haven't quite healed just yet. Well, what do you want to do then? We still have 30 minutes before 9 o'clock.
ここで部活じゃないそれいいっすね
These two are beyond me. Wait, how does Usami know about our club activities?
いやみんな知ってますよ浅井さんと栄一さんが理科準備室でくだらないことしてるって
Well, whatever. Do you have the key, Eiichi?
鍵
The key to the lab equipment storage room.
教室の机の中
Don't just leave it somewhere to be stolen by God knows who.
誰が望むんだよ
Good point. A cell phone began to ring.
ゆきですはいもしもし
I could barely make out Yuki's end of the conversation with Usami.
ごめん寝坊したわもうそんなことだろうと思ったよだって水葉が起こしてくれないんだものまったく私を置いていくなんて白状だわきっと愛想をつかされたんだよ水葉もうそっちに来てるうんまだ校門前で待ち合わせってことになってるけど今どこにいる校舎の中じゃあ表で待っていてちょうだい1時間もしたら行くわ1時間って早く来てよ寒いんだから分かったわよ全員分のお弁当買っていくから
The call ended.
聞こえてました
Unfortunately, who does she think she is?
とりあえず出ましょう水葉も来てるかもしれないし
I turned reluctantly to leave the warmth of the school building behind me. What's up, Eiichi? He stood as still as a frozen statue, staring ahead blankly.
いや今幽霊いなかった
What in God's name are you joking around about this time?
いや本当階段のとこに誰かいたんだよそのお化けはこんな顔だったかいってバカ
Usami does look like an apparition at a glance.
まあ見間違いかね
We turn once more for the door. We returned to the school's entrance, but Shiratori wasn't there. It's already 9.
あれ
Usami suddenly kneeled down next to the gate.
このケースって何すかね
10. It was a long cylindrical canister.
中に望遠鏡とか入ってますけど
Mizuha's. Would you quit just opening up strange containers?
すいません爆弾の可能性を失念していました
That's not what I meant.
これって水葉の天文グッズじゃないですかね
Huh?
いえ取っ手についてる可愛らしいキーホルダーに MS ってサゾマゾってこと正解
Right, Shiratori's initials. Only, why would she up and leave something like that lying around?
トイレにでも行ったんじゃない
Even then, you wouldn't just leave valuable equipment in a place like this. We all tilt our heads in confusion.
そういや自分だって水葉の携帯番号とか知らないっすね
If you don't have it, you'd better believe the two of us won't. Did something happen to her? The school seems deserted. Tomenbetsu's track and field grounds and the city gym are nearby, I guess, but the closest residential district is actually quite far away. I hear sexual predators have loitered around these parts in the past. Surely she didn't. Usami's cell rang again.
またユキですはいもしもし
Usami's expression clouds over.
水葉と連絡がつかない
She repeats Tokida's words so that Eiichi and I can understand the situation.
いや、こっちにも来てないよ。門の前に水葉のものらしき望遠鏡があるだけ。
With her phone in one hand, Usami squatted down near the spot where she had found Shiratori's telescope.
わかった。ちょっと探してみる。
It seems the call is over.
なんかやばい予感がするぜ。冬は変態も合法的にコートを着れる時期じゃん。
Ignoring Eiichi's worries, Usami stares firmly at the canister on the ground. Should we start by looking through the school?
これは
Just as Usami was about to say something, I could have sworn something had grabbed my heart. Usami moved instantly. She dashed to the school building where the scream had originated. Shiratori? I run alongside Usami.
どういうこと？
あの窓からです。
Screams continued to pour from the direction Usami indicated with a finger. The staff room? I leaped through the school entrance and ran up the stairs without taking my outdoor shoes off. Hurried footsteps echoed through the end of the corridor, beyond the creeping borders of the darkness. Usami's speed was amazing. She jumped 3 or 4 stairs at a time and arrived at the staff room in the 2nd floor in no time.
悲鳴がやみました。
Even while talking, she shows absolutely no signs of being out of breath.
まずいです。
The end of the scream indicated that either her mouth had been covered or she lost the ability to resist. The scream rose again from the staff room before us. My legs twisted at that unexpected voice. Miss Noriko's anguished face, a face bathed in fear and confusion, was pushed against the door's glass pane. It was clear that she was being threatened by someone. Some thug was holding her hostage in the darkened staff room. For whatever reason, he's trying to harm her. Suddenly, a sharp light flickered in the darkness. It was a knife, fearsomely reflecting the tranquil moonlight. A hand covered by a black glove shot out for the half-crazed teacher's neck. She pleaded, crying.
浅井さん、
Usami spoke while staring at the staff room door.
出ましょう。
But
ここは引くしかありません。
I guess it can't be helped. We can go straight to the police. Miss Noriko's face in the little glass window suddenly became displaced by that thug wearing a ski mask. As he held Miss Noriko's arms behind her back, he shouted again. This voice, and his stature too. This thug is my classmate. Hashimoto?
勇気を呼べばいいんですね。
He waved his knife around, then kicked the door wildly. Usami glanced at me.
出ましょう。
All we could do was cooperate with Hashimoto.
何が起こってるの？
There's a thug holed up in the staff room.
ナルコ先生は？
She was taken hostage.
白鳥も？
Looks like it. He said if we call the police, he'll kill them both.
浅井さん、ユキに再度連絡しました。大至急こっちに来るようにと。
Usami put the phone down, and I asked her a question. What do you think Hashimoto's motive is in all this?
わかりません。
She said it plainly. I think he'd planned on sneaking into the staff room for some reason,
何か？
such as to look for proof that the director had been accepting bribes. Hashimoto is the vice principal's son. Don't you think he'd be a little ticked his father was the only one arrested?
それは動機として考えられます。
ちょっと待ってよ。橋本ってバスケ部の橋本か？
Yeah, it is. The same Hashimoto that wrote the nasty message on the blackboard a few days ago. He's ordering us to call for Tokita.
なんで？
I don't know, but it looks like he's trying to get revenge.
水葉は無事でしょうか？
Usami idly glanced at Shiratori's telescope lying on the ground. Shiratori's safety isn't guaranteed. Was she assaulted here, then dragged into the school building? And if he decided to take Shiratori hostage, then is his motive somehow related to the director?
だから幽霊見たって言ったじゃん。
Yeah, probably. For once, I wish I'd listened to you. Hashimoto snuck into the school, his face covered by a ski mask. I imagine it would look like a ghost. Are we going to call the police? That was the million-dollar question.
あの様子では本当にのりこ先生を殺しかねません。
I thought so too.
当然これは学園生が人質を取って校舎に立てこもるという大きな事件です。我々が素人探偵を気取って解決しようというのはおこがましいとも言えます。
You think? Is Usami trying to keep her distance in light of the Miwa kidnapping incident? Why do you think he wants to speak with Tokita?
そこが引っかかるんです。
Usami's eyes narrowed.
犯人の要求は例えば理事長に警察への出頭を求めるものだとしましょう。だとしたらたとえ交渉相手が警察でも構わないはずなんです。
Yet he told us not to contact the police. I suppose our best option is to play a little wait and see until Tokita gets here. But should we really be hanging around doing nothing? Not even calling the police? What should we do? Hashimoto says he'll kill the hostages if we call the police. Of course, that could just be a bluff. However, what if someone really gets killed?
まずいって俺ののりこ先生が死んじゃうよ。
There's no way I should consider that kind of... I could shoulder that kind of responsibility. What should I do? I'm going to call the police or wait for Tokita. Alright, we're gonna save here. Actually right there. This is a choice. And actually, you know what? This is kind of unconventional, but I am actually going to look up what we need to do here. So give me just 1 second, because I don't remember the right option here, and I don't want to head us towards a bad end. So give me just a second here. Sorry about that. I meant to confirm this kind of thing before I start streaming, but I didn't realize we were this close to the next choice. Looks like we need to call the police. Alright, got it. Sorry about that. Alright, we're gonna call the police. Should I really do this? My thumb stops dead in its tracks as I try to dial 911. Shiratori could die. It's possible. This kind of heinous crime is best left to the police. Hashimoto is alone. The only weapon he has is a single knife. If I brief the police on the situation, they might be able to sneak in without alerting the captor and have the hostages freed in no time. My sense of urgency torments me enough to taunt my headache into action. Shiratori's furious face surfaces in my mind. I never thought I'd end up having dinner with her. She seems to hate me for some reason. I drive scattered thoughts of Shiratori from my mind as I consider my next move once more. I should leave this to the police, yes. I strengthen my resolve and dial the number.
浅井さん、
Usami seemed to have something to say, but decided to give up and hold her tongue. 2 agonizingly long rings met my ear before someone picked up. Is your emergency a crime or an accident? I think I somehow managed to describe the incident smoothly. The police mobilized quickly, once alerted to the situation. Dozens of patrol cars promptly surrounded the school. The police took over the situation, and we were no longer needed. They made the school's athletic grounds their base, set up a whole array of communication devices, and began negotiations immediately. Hashimoto had apparently been bluffing about killing the hostages, as he surrendered with very little resistance. The apparent commander of the police team was able to persuade him to stand down after no more than 2 or 3 phone calls. Thus, Miss Noriko and Shiratori were released, and the affair came to a close. In the end, I had made the right choice. Shiratori's white skin had transformed into downright death pallor by the time she was ushered into a patrol car for an interview downtown. She looked to be unable to fathom the tragedy which had befallen her. She was trembling, like a small, terrified animal. I feel like I should have said something to her. Alright. And we are now on Mizuha's route.
結局京介くんの判断は良かったわね、水葉。うん。それにしても父さんの交渉テクニックはものすごいわね。私ももっと勉強しなきゃ。犯人なすすべもなかったわね。水葉は大丈夫だった？うん。別に平気。
Wait. Hey, can I go home yet?
ダメよ。
Is there a particular reason I have to be present for your little denouement?
お昼ご飯おごってあげるから。
No. Look, the case is absolutely closed. There's nothing else to say about it, is there? According to the news, Hashimoto's demand was to have his father released. However, the investigation is still ongoing. Which, again, doesn't make a lot of sense when you put the pieces together because, again, he would need the police involved, not just, Kyosuke and Usami. Of course, he was asking for Tokita, and Tokita's father is a negotiator. I don't know. I don't remember this part that well, honestly, so I am just basically talking nonsense. Thanks to the police's speedy resolution of the conflict, Shiratori walked away unharmed. Nevertheless, she did take a 2-day break from school, hence the midday off-campus gathering. As for me, I was tricked into this little lunch meeting by Tokita.
ほら、水葉。ちゃんと京介くんにお礼を言いなさい。え、なんで？助けてもらったじゃないの。助けてくれたのは警察だもの。
She has a point. All I did was call them. There's no need for thanks. It'd probably just gross me out anyway. For some reason, Shiratori sulked at that.
何？気持ち悪いって。まあまあ、彼はひねくれ者だから。
Just like you, Shiratori.
浅井くんほどじゃないわ。
Yeah, sure. Whatever helps you sleep at night. Who put the stick up her ass? Could she possibly be any more childish? Look, do you two have any business with me or not?
うん。だから、助けてもらったお礼がしたかったのよ。
Isn't that so? She adds to Mizuha, who ignores her as furiously as she does me. Alright, I accept your appreciation. I'm out of here.
あ、ちょっと待ってよ。怖い目をしないで。CD 買ってあげるわ。
A CD?
ほら。ワーグナーの。
Oh? Have you finally reflected on your inappropriate behavior? Well, I suppose it couldn't hurt. You did shatter my last copy, after all.
もう、なんでもいいわ。
She just bumped his shoulder. Shiratori stood from her seat.
じゃあ、買い物に行きましょうか。
Sure. What's so funny? It may have been a weekday afternoon, but Central Boulevard was crowded nonetheless. Wait, hold on a second. I have a stamp card from the CD shop I usually go to. Buy me something if you want, but you gotta use this.
せこいわね。
Yep, I'm one miserly bastard.
偉そうに言わないでよ。
There's something odd about all this. Shiratori looks at me as if I were a particularly offensive insect. Meanwhile, she says she wants to buy me a CD. Would she really do something so obviously disturbing to her sensibilities just because I dialed 911? Is there something else to this?
またそうやって疑う。
Out with it. You two are acting about as suspicious as they come.
人の行為も信じられないのね。
Fine, I give up. Just hurry and buy what you came to buy.
なんだか嫌になってきたわ。
Good for you.
ちょっと水葉。
Tokita suddenly panicked.
何姉さん。あなたね、ダメじゃない。
Hmm?
だから何が？いいからちょっとこっち来なさい。
Tokita yanks Shiratori by the arm. Hey! They run off towards a corner of the street, leaving me behind. Hey! They ignored me. I tried to listen in.
だって
Shiratori seemed to be pouting like a child.
だから言ったでしょ。いちいち腹を立てたらダメなのよ。ほら、笑顔笑顔。そう、いいじゃないいいじゃない。そう？もうズッキュンってくるわよ。ズッキュンって。
What in God's name are they talking about? After a short moment, the two of them come back.
お待たせ。
Oh god, she's trying way too hard. A stiff smile was plastered on her face. What are you doing to this poor girl, Tokita?
え？
Tokita's lips curved into a cheesy smile. I can see what's going on here. You two are planning something, aren't you?
全然ねえ、水葉。
Mizuha nodded like a robot.
隣歩いてもいい？
Sure, why not?
よし、よく言った。
What? This just crossed the line from absurdity to terror. I knew you were up to something.
企んでないわよ。人を信用しなくなったら終わりよ。そうよ。信用を失ったら大変なんだから。
Well, you're not exactly acting very trustworthy here. It's like they're begging for me to be suspicious of them. You really don't have any ulterior motives.
ないってば。
Tokita looks shady even when she's telling the truth. I should ask Shiratori instead. Well,
何度確認するのよ。
this is it. I won't ask again, I swear. Just look me in the eyes when you answer.
目を見るの？
She plainly hesitated before I even asked.
告白？ひょっとして告白？
Where the hell do you pull these ideas out of?
告白なの？告白？告白？
No.
気を持たせるだけ持たせてそのうち。
I'm not trying to play with anything. They're up to something no matter how I look at it. As long as they're not trying to pull one over on me, it's no big deal. However, I can't help but feel that I'm somehow the target of this little charade.
グダグダしてるわね。
That's my line.
あら？それより水葉、あの服可愛くない？可愛くない？本当だ、可愛い。
You're into fashions like these, Shiratori? They didn't really seem to fit her persona, so I'm a bit taken aback. They were clothes more suited to a sultry adult woman.
これでもこの子着寄せするから、色っぽさを出せばグイグイ来ると思うのよね。
Bang? What do you mean bang, Tokita?
それはもちろん、興味ある男の子の気を引いたり。姉さん、ムキになっちゃって。姉さん。
It's about as obvious as it gets.
もう、そんなんじゃダメだって。
Shiratori is once again yanked to a safe distance.
そんなんじゃ、から。ズコーンと、で、ぐしゃっと。
Oh man.
そうだね。
Seriously, if you're not going to buy me that CD, I've got no reason to be here.
心配しないで。
Shiratori smiles at me, in the most forced, cheesy manner imaginable. Are you girls brainstorming about ways to annoy me when you run off together?
この場を和ませるための笑顔に決まってるじゃない。
Didn't work so well. Cut it out already.
別に何もしてない。
It sure looks like you are.
どうすればいいの？
Shut up and buy me the CD. Then keep quiet until we say goodbye. Yeah, smooth, Kyosuke.
盛り上がりに欠けるわね。
That's Kyosuke for you. Is this supposed to be fun?
買い物は楽しい方がいいでしょ？違う？
Fine, I get it. You can talk and just start walking. They've been standing still for far too long now.
円満に解決したところで行きましょうか。
She was the one that started that little conflict.
行こう。
thank you. And this one keeps throwing me strange looks. We pass the minutes of our trek to the CD store clamorously. The sun was now setting, yet I was still being dragged around by these two.
京介くんは何か水葉に質問とかないの？
Not in particular. She's been like this the whole time.
興味持ってたじゃない。ついこの間までは。
That was just a little recon for my revenge. Shiratori's scornful eyes threatened to bore holes in me as she walked alongside me. You like stars, right?
だから
Nothing. I just figured it's a pity that we missed out last time.
別にいいで
What? I swear Tokita just reached out for Shiratori's butt from her position behind us.
なんでもないわ。ね、水葉。
そうね残念だったわだから
So?
だからもう一度
Want to... Tokita immediately spoke up after I finished.
やらないか。天体観測ってことよ。
Oh, so that's what the stuttering was about.
どうなの
Nah, can't be bothered. Oh my god.
ねえさ
Shiratori looked up at her sister in a panic, clearly at a loss for what to do.
ちょっと京介くん、ひどくない？
Not in the least. I have business to tend to. I don't have time to be playing around with you two.
ああ。
Her eyes were cold. I tilted my head. What do you want, anyway? I'm sure it's money they're after. I'm a born miser. You won't be able to squeeze anything out of this rock.
それはお金の話でしょ？
Money, stuff, time, anything.
愛は？
Love?
ラブよ。
That's disgusting. I don't recall ever being in love.
じゃあ悲鳴は？思い切り叩いたら出るかしら。
Oh, Tokita. Most likely, yeah.
では早速。
Alright then, my ass. I'm not going to sit by and let you hit me. Freaking psycho. Look, I'm out of here.
ちょっと
What is it this time? Give me a break. If you got business with me, leave it for tomorrow.
携帯
Huh?
携帯電話
She started out clear enough, but
の番号を
she mumbled the rest of her sentence. Why? Why is she going all silent?
おとといみたいなことになったとき困る
Meaning the hostage case? You're not going to prank call me at midnight asking for money, are you?
しない
Well, alright. Unlike Usami, Shiratori doesn't seem to be the type to call without good reason. With an exhausted expression, she hands her phone to me. It's quite the cutesy phone you have considering your perpetually grave expression. There were bear and squirrel phone straps on it. We finished exchanging numbers and I waved goodbye. Later.
ええ。また明日、学園で。
Tokita had a strange grin on her face.
それじゃ
Shiratori grew sullen once more. I don't know what this is about, but I'm positive now that they're trying to trick me somehow. I better watch my back. Yep. Those two girls are gonna be the end of you, Kyosuke. I return home and pass the time doing work for Gonzo. I hang up after finishing a call with the Azai Corporation, then casually look at my cell phone. I'd apparently missed quite a few calls. Come to think of it, I remember having to ignore a few calls during that last conversation. They were all from Shiratori. If I'd known she would call so soon, I wouldn't have given her the number. In any case, I'd better call her back. She answered before it even had the chance to ring twice. Hello? No response. She refused to make any sound besides faint, rhythmic breathing. Look, why'd you call me? Hey!
あ
I wouldn't have called you back if I wasn't.
それもそうね。
She coughed.
明日ちょっと話があるのだけれど、都合はいかがかしら。
Is it just me, or does it sound like she's reading from a script?
放課後はどうかしら。嫌ならそれでもいいけれど、きっと後悔することになるわよ。なぜならあなたの人生の転機が訪れるのだ。何これ。
That's what I want to ask. Shrill laughs echoed through from the other end of the line. After school?
まあ
As long as we can make it quick, it shouldn't be a problem. No, this has to be a trap. Look, just tell me now. What are you calling about? Hey, don't go all silent on me.
ちょっと待ってよ。
Alright. There was a rustling sound. After a moment, she spoke again, without annotation.
顔を合わせて話したいの。
Oh? Is she going to ask me to lend her money?
で、
I'll give you 10, no, 15 minutes, but if it's about money, I'll tell you right now, you'd better ask someone else.
お金じゃないわ。どうしてあなたはいつもそうなの？
Shiratori finally returned to her typical ill manner. Or ill temper, rather. That made me feel a little more at ease. Always? I laughed. What do you think you know about me? And what do you mean always? You think you can just see right through me or something?
そうよ。いつも見てたもの。
Huh? The call suddenly cut off. Did her signal drop? She doesn't call back. It's somewhat upsetting to just leave it at that, but I feel like I'd lose something if I gave in and called her back. Still, what was she saying at the end there? Well, whatever. Tomorrow, huh? I tumble into bed and close my eyes. Despite having just experienced an affair as monstrous as a hostage crisis, my days have once again become utterly peaceful. For some reason, Shiratori's face lingers in my mind. She's been a little strange ever since Tokita came into town. They really do act like sisters, though I suppose they have two different mothers or something. In any case, they get on well together. Fleeting memories of my family painted my consciousness as my mind drifted in the darkness. However, like a shooting star, those old memories soon left me in the hands of the warm abyss of sleep. Morning had arrived before I knew it. The frigid fresh air did nothing to abate the heat sparked by the crowd loitering about the school gate. Journalists and reporters bared their fangs at each commuting student, trying desperately to milk the recent hostage crisis for all it's worth. Cut it out already. How's a guy like me supposed to avoid attention with all this racket?
まあぶっちゃけかかってこいよみたいなところありましたね。
Oh, excuse me. Some shrimp had grabbed a microphone, and a horde of cameras converged on him.
正直警察とか来なくてもなんとかしてましたね僕。
He's shooting his mouth off again. Yo, Shiratori. I showed up early today, but Shiratori was already in the classroom. She was watering the flowers at the windowsill again. How did you, of all people, escape the cameras?
マスコミより早く来たから。
Well, be careful. You were the hostage, and what with your father being bashed left and right, they're probably out to nail you too.
それは何？
What?
気を使ってくれてるの？
No, I'm just saying what anyone would say in this situation. I suddenly remember the call yesterday. Today after school, right?
あ、うん。
Shiratori suddenly lost her composure. Why'd you hang up on me anyway? I can't figure you out.
とにかく放課後。
After school, huh? What exactly is happening after school anyway? You trying to call me out and fight with me behind the gym? Looking to thrash me good? Oh, Kyosuke.
何それ？
She frowned angrily. I'm kidding. Kidding. Oh, let me try again. I'm kidding. I'll be there. I'll make sure I don't forget like usual.
そういう冗談嫌い。
Why can't you just talk to me now, though?
当たり前でしょ。
The only one this is obvious to is you.
いいから放課後。
Dragging out the subject seems to make her pretty antsy. What could she possibly want to talk to me about? Anyway, we can meet up at 9 o'clock.
遅すぎ。
I don't know, I'd say it's pretty solidly after
放
school.
課後どころか。ほら。
Are you honestly about to tell me 9 o'clock isn't after school?
ちっちきちよ。ちっちきち。
What? Shiratori's raised her voice at me as her face went red.
とにかく遅すぎるってこと。常識的に考えて9時なわけないでしょ。変にからかうのやめてよ。
Alright, 2 p.m. then.
今度は早すぎる。
Oh, come on. You gotta live on the edge. Sneaking out a little early should spice things up a bit.
完全にアウトだから。まだ授業中だし。
Delinquents use afternoon and after school interchangeably. Material equivalents.
私優等生だから。
I don't think one really identifies oneself as such.
普通に授業が終わってからでいいでしょ。
What if I come down with a sudden illness and have to leave school early?
どうしてそんなこと心配するのよ。
She frowns again.
ひょっとして嫌なの？
It's nothing like that.
嫌なら嫌って言えばいいじゃない。
That sad, angry face of yours tells me that that would be a bad idea. Has this girl always been so expressive? I'll be there, don't worry.
ならちゃんと来て。
She passed by me as if running away. But she didn't actually go anywhere. She just escaped to loiter about in the corner of the classroom. Our classmates trickle in, yet not one of them has talked to Shiratori. I guess they must believe the fault for the incident lies with Shiratori's father, rather than Hashimoto. Well, I suppose she's used to this isolation by now.
よ、京介、おはようさん。
Done with your interview?
もちろんだぜ。これで俺も一躍有名人ってやつよ。
Getting a little carried away, aren't we?
そんなことより聞いてくれよ。
Sure, what? I held out my right hand.
何この手。
100 yen.
ラッキーくれんの？
Nothing. Why the hell would I give you 100 yen?
あ、じゃあ100円で。
I'll listen to you if you give me 100 yen.
なんで？
These days, you have to pay to get your word out. Know what I mean?
初めて聞いたよ。
Try talking to a lawyer for an hour on your way home today. They cost a shitload more than 100 yen.
そりゃ仕事だからな。
How's that any different from me listening to you?
どうしてそんな経緯になったのか一から聞かせてくれ。
Tuition at a Azai University costs a grand per lecture. That alright with you?
俺はこんな友達持ってて幸せだよ。
Don't be too merry now.
もういい。話す気も失せた。
I'm just kidding, dude. Let's hear it. I'll listen.
いやいや聞いてもらう話じゃないんだよ。正直言ってすげえネタなんだからさ。
Oh, never mind then.
食いつけよ。
Just sounds like a scam to me.
昨日帰宅してから気づいたんだけどさ。
So we started talking after all.
ちゃんと聞いてるか？
Totally.
俺は栄一の言葉を聞きながら授業開始を待った。とか内心で言ってすっ飛ばしたりしないよな。
Of course not. Relax. Just tell me.
よし。で、昨日な。
Is he gonna do it? I waited for class to end as I pretended to listen to Aichi. Oh. This fucking game. And he really did it. Scene transition. Around 20 minutes in.
遅刻しました。
Tokita entered the classroom, looking sick to her stomach. She was about to get shouted at by the teacher.
すみません。この季節布団がですね、いつまでも私をストーキングしまして、説得にはかなりの時間が。
Her mouth seemed to be yes. Her mouth seemed to be feeling fine, at least. She stopped in front of my seat and smiled at me. I have a bad feeling about this. Yawning again. Excuse me, it's getting late. Lunchtime rolled around. Hey, Eiji. Let's go and get something to eat.
ああ、いや、ちょっとユキ様に呼ばれててな。
Tokita? Well, alright. I'll invite Tsubaki, I guess. Nah, she seems busy. Cannon's out of the country, Usami is sleeping. What about Shiratori? And just as I thought that, my eyes met with hers. We were caught in a Mexican standoff. Before long, my opponent yielded and walked away dejectedly. I couldn't shake my curiosity about what awaited me at the end of school. As I idly wondered about it for the umpteenth time today, the last class came to an end. Shiratori. I called out to her from behind. Shiratori looked around restlessly, as if she was worried about what our classmates might be thinking.
こっち。
She walked out of the classroom. I trod along behind her. Is this something you really have to hide from people? I try to talk to Shiratori as I blindly follow her.
私と一緒にいると迷惑かかる。
She cast her eyes down, and a black shadow quickly fell over her expression. More than a few of our classmates sympathized with Hashimoto. Shiratori might feel like she has no place here anymore. I decided to give up the conversation and silently followed her. The rooftop was perfectly empty. Shiratori turned around to meet my gaze. Now talk. 5 minutes. Did she suddenly get cold feet?
えっと、
She was paying a lot of attention to the railing behind her. There was nothing there, and only the wide orange sky behind it. Shiratori moved to the edge of the rooftop.
吊り橋。吊り橋。
She was muttering some kind of charm. This is suspicious.
そろそろバレンタインじゃない？
Yeah. Where'd that come from?
バレンタインといえば何か思い出さない？
I think of thinking nothing. Oops, that jab just kind of slipped out.
ほら、2年前。
Valentine's Day 2 years ago?
うん。
Nothing jumps out at me. I can barely remember what happened at school yesterday, let alone 2 years ago. School just isn't a priority. Shiratori sighed.
忘れっぽいっていうのは何かあるの？
I don't know. I've always been like this. I suddenly thought of Dr. Akimoto.
チョコレート。誰かからもらったと思う。
Ah, that's why she hates him. See, that's how my own forgetfulness is that some kind of symptom of a greater illness? I have no idea, but I fucking don't remember this at all. And I played this game. I mean, granted, it was years ago, but still, I think the main reason that I kind of like forget a lot of what I do in visual novels, and this is something that carries over to other types of games that I play too. Just going off on a quick tirade here, but I love to marathon my gaming sessions. I always have since I was a kid. I love to just buckle down, like on a weekend even when I was back in school. If I had a weekend, I didn't have to do anything. Saturday, just buckle down with a game. Don't want to do much of anything else that day, besides enjoy that. And I'm like that with movies, with books, visual novels, other types of games. Just how I am. But because I do that, because I ingest all of that in a short period of time, only the main points of it tend to stick in my mind. Because I just don't have the type of a memory that is able to absorb that much information, over a long period of time and absorb it. I'm kind of a learner through repetition anyway, so if I see something multiple times, I remember it pretty well. If I see it once, I don't remember it very well. But anyway, that's just an aside because I've mentioned so many times, even in this this single Let's Play, how, you know, oh, I don't remember this, or I played this before, but I don't remember this part. Anyway. 2 years ago? You mean... I haven't got the foggiest idea. I act cheery in school, and I get along well with my classmates, so it wouldn't be all that surprising. I don't remember it, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen.
もらったのよ。
What about it? Is this what you wanted to talk about?
そうよ。
She goes sour again.
あなたは捨てたもの。ゴミ箱に。
And that is why she hates him, because that was clearly her. She said that with anger, then began to slip. Shiratori, her uniform fluttering in the wind, fell towards the railing. No, it looked like she was falling.
うわ、落ちる。
She had just bent backwards a little. It looked more like she was stretching her back than tipping over the edge.
助けて。
Look, you're not falling.
でも、もう本当に。
Her scream didn't hold any convincing desperation.
わ
Wow, what?
いや、でも風にさらわれて。
You could barely even call this a breeze.
台風がもうそこまで。
Am I being made fun of? Still, it doesn't seem like the conversation would progress if I didn't grab her arm. So I did.
助かったわ。ありがとう。危うく落ちて死ぬところだったわ。それで話の続きなんだけど。
It seems she realized my face is dyed in anger.
どうしたっていうの？
No, what's with you? If she were Eiji, I probably would have just pushed her off. I suddenly turned around and saw a woman ducking back into the rooftop's entrance. I couldn't help but think that she had intended us to hear her.
とにかくあなたはもらったチョコレートを捨てたのよ。
Huh? Oh. Did I? So?
だからひどいっていう話。
Well, yeah, that sounds terrible. What kind of jerk would toss a gift from a girl into the trash can? Oh, right. She's saying that I did it. Who gave them to me, anyway? Shiratori hung her head as her shoulders trembled. Ah! What? Hold on here! I couldn't keep my calm. No way! No way!
私
Yeah!
じゃなくて。
You did not?
やっぱり
She groaned a few times and gritted her teeth.
私じゃないわ。バカ。
Okay, so, okay, I don't even remember if that's like a lie that Tokita told her to tell him or not, but anyway. She suddenly ran off.
何してるの？
I heard Tokita's voice over Shiratori's noisy footsteps. Before long, I'd been left all alone. Then, Eiichi unexpectedly appeared.
よう、京介。白鳥はいい子だぜ。
Huh?
白鳥はいい子だぜ。
Brainwashed by Tokita, he repeated himself with a face like a puppet. Why, thank you, Mr. NPC.
本当間違いない。
Since when did you start singing Shiratori's praises?
だってユキ様にじゃなくてなんとなく。
It was the first thing you said when you came here. That Tokita trained you hard, didn't she?
さすが京介に嘘は通じねえか。そうだよ。俺はユキ様に脅されて仕方なくだな。
Doing what?
お前の前で白鳥を褒めろと。
to talk her up.
すまねえ京介、つい出来心ってやつよ。俺は白鳥なんてどうでもいい。
You're going to die a painful, bloody death if you don't do something about that opportunism of yours. Nevertheless, I somehow understood. It seems Shiratori gave me chocolates, which I then tossed into the trash can. Is that why she hated me so much? But hold on a minute. She gave me chocolates, and judging by her attitude, that couldn't have just been pity candy. That means... Whoa, what a twist.
京介、どうするんだ。まだ白鳥への復讐は終わってないんだろ。白鳥を手ごめにするっつう話はどうなった？
Wow. Rape, huh? No, wait. She gave me those chocolates 2 years ago. Thus, Shiratori's feelings towards me are 2 years old. That doesn't necessarily mean they continued into the present. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. The girl just called me out here to complain to me. That's all. There was no reason for Shiratori to fall for me in the first place. Let's just keep a good eye on her for now.
よし、任せとけ。
Don't go double-crossing me again.
絶対神に誓う。
He's going to do it again. Alright. And that is actually where we are going to call this episode to a close. So, as always, thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you're enjoying, and I will see you all next time.